Weatherman, don't tell me lies. I know it's all a big surprise. It's a hocus pocus magic that you do.
Good afternoon. Welcome to WEITV. I'm meteorologist David Nohoff. Thank you for joining us. Today we have a special edition. We're going to go ahead and call this Review and Outlook. What we're going to be doing is taking a look at last year at this time and then looking also at this summer, what it's been like this last 6 months. And then we're going to look into the future as well. We're going to look through the rest of 2012. So, okay, what happened last year at this time? What were we talking about? If you remember, we had the huge dominant high pressure system that was essentially sitting over the entire desert southwest, including Texas. This big dome of high pressure essentially set in late 2010 and lasted through a good portion of 2011. And last summer we were talking exceptional drought, we were talking about wildfires, and then we were talking about deaths. Not only agricultural to the agricultural industry, but people were dying from the extreme heat and fires. And that was last year. And then into the 2012 time frame, even though we were in La Nina, which is typically a dry weather pattern, not all La Ninas are dry, and so it started to rain across our parts of Texas, and it was very welcome at the beginning of 2012. We actually had above average rainfall. And this rainfall set over a good portion of the Texas Hill Country, and that rainfall, those frequent rainfall events lasted into the early part of this summer. And so that was certainly very welcomed. And what that brought essentially was a major drought down to a drought where we're now experiencing zero exceptional drought, and only about 90% of the state is abnormally dry. And I say the word only relative to what it was like back in 2011 when we were experiencing pretty much the whole state, for the most part, was exceptionally in drought. So improvement through the summer due to the frequent rainfalls. Now the rest of the summer, the outlook is what's going to happen. So right now we have this big dome of high pressure, and we're in what's called an INSO-neutral pattern, which can be either dry or average conditions or above average conditions. And so far, over the last 3 months, we've been near normal rainfall patterns and above average temperatures across a good portion of the Texas Hill Country. We're experiencing our first heat wave. We've seen several days of 100-degree temperatures and a lack of rain. But because of the rainfall we've had over this last year, fortunately, we're not seeing the bad drought conditions. And so this has been the effect of INSO-neutral. Now the good news is, as I alluded to last Friday, we're talking about what good news is, and that spells R-A-I-N, rain. The type of pattern we're in right now can lead to tropical systems later in the summer moving up and into our area and giving us at least a good potential for some rainfall. And then we also can get upper level waves to move across a good portion of the Texas area, and hopefully we'll be fortunate enough to receive some rainfall from there. So really for the rest of this summer, I'm looking for, well, events of heat wave events, and then we're going to have some breaks at times of rainfall patterns. But I think overall we're going to be right around the normal range of rainfall for the rest of the summertime. So that certainly is good news, again, relative to last year. Now the best news is what's going to happen this fall into winter time frame. Well, El Nino. El Nino, there's more and more talk of El Nino setting stage out in the Pacific Ocean. El Nino comes in and usually brings the jet stream farther down into the southern states and directs storm systems to come from the desert southwest over across a good portion of Texas and drops rainfall. And so if this pattern does set up, not only will we be seeing much more frequent rainfall in the fall and especially the winter time frame, but also lower temperatures. So again, drought impacts should continue to improve, and that is the expectation through fall. That is certainly our hope. We'll keep you posted. I'm meteorologist David Nohoff. Thank you for joining us on this special weather edition of Review and Outlooks.
Does that Donnie Mitchell have the mange? His dragon tail, it was quite strange. I hear there are tornadoes on the lake. When you set it up to rain, I know that is just a game.